Hey everyone, Caroline with the day. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Destined with Greatness podcast show. Let me know if you can hear me. I believe my volume is on, and I do apologize. I am 26 minutes late. I literally came from the gym and had a great workout, by the way. An amazing, energizing workout. And hi, Jackie, if you're watching this, thank you, girlfriend. I enjoyed our workout this evening. And welcome to Destined with Greatness podcast show. And I come on live every Thursday evening, Central Standard Time, Texas time. And I believe it's probably about, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. It's probably 1 o'clock East African, 1 a.m. East African Standard. Is it Standard Time? Someone correct me, or someone help me out. East African Time, EAT. But nonetheless, today I want us to really talk about something I'm passionate about. And by the way, welcome. Let me know where you're watching from. And this is all my podcast most of the time is a lot of encouragement, education, empowering you. But my prayer is that the Lord establish you. And pardon me, it's a little sunny here. If you see me just holding my head, the sunset is blinding my eyes a little bit, but I trust that you can see me. So my prayer is that the Lord establish you in that which He called you to do. And the verse that I always share is Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. He says that before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before I put you together in your mother's womb, I knew you and appointed you as a prophet to the nations. And this is so encouraging to me to know that even before we were born, God was thinking about us. He had plans for us. And the thing that I really want to tie into that is the importance of taking care of our body. And why am I really passionate about this? One of the things that I know and I've come to learn is your health can have such an impact on the things you do in life that you find that you're not even able to accomplish things that you're passionate about, especially if your health is an obstacle. But there is good news, and I want us to really share tonight. I want us to talk about the metabolic syndrome. And most importantly, I want to give a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I am not a practicing physician. I am a holistic health coach, and mostly I specialize in a primal way of eating. And most importantly, I always say seek medical advice. Always seek medical advice from your physician, and this is just for educational purposes only. I do not treat, I do not diagnose, all of that good stuff. I just wanted to put out the disclaimer out there. But I'm passionate about health. And why I'm passionate about health, a lot of you have seen my health transformation, but most importantly, it's been a journey. It has been a journey. I have gone through a lot of health challenges, and prior to really diving and delving into the root cause, I was always a crash dieter. I was always wanting the quick fix. I was always wanting to get things done the easy way out without really getting to the root cause. And the quick fixes or the shortcuts were not sustainable. They actually had a negative impact in my life and my health. And I decided, let me really get to know what is health. What are the root causes of some of the things that manifested in my physical body? And I have shared, if you scroll down on my Facebook page, you will see I've shared my health story on how I transformed my health from the inside out. But most importantly, it is the process of going through a sustainable way of living your life. because yes, there are a lot of shortcuts that people can take, and I am not here to judge you. Your health is yours to live. Your health is yours to navigate however it may seem fit to you. But for me as a health coach, I just wanted to share some, and also I'm a nurse. I have been a nurse over close to since 2004, and I have experienced working in different departments, whether it's med surg, hospice. Even during the COVID pandemic that we had, I worked in a post-COVID unit. I've worked in a nursing home. Right now I work with liver and GI, and that actually has been an eye-opener for me, because I've learned to also continue learning. Never get to a place where you think you know it all. Be a student of life, right? And get curious. Find something that you can learn. It will cause you to be a sponge, so you can soak up and learn things that actually transform and empower different parts of your life. But most importantly, I want us to talk about metabolic health syndrome. And what is that? And I want actually to share in layman terms. Think about your body being a well-running machine. Think about your body being a well-running machine. But when that machine, when your body is not functioning, when parts of that body is not functioning optimally, there are red lights, right? Like the red lights we see on a dashboard of your car. When your car needs an oil change, you will find that, okay, your car will give you clues that it needs to be maintained. And so does our body also give us clues. But a lot of times, because of the hustle and bustle of life, we tend to ignore some of the classic symptoms or signs that our body gives us. So it is a cluster. Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of conditions, and more specifically, there are like 4 or 5 of them. Having consistent high blood pressure, where it's consistently greater than 120/80, or consistently having high blood sugar. Also, you have excess body weight or abnormal cholesterol levels. And this will increase, this actually increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. And why am I really wanting to share this? Remember, when I started, I said that your health has an impact on how you show up in life. Your health has an impact on how you fulfill the purpose that God has called you or placed you on earth for. Because I realized there are many people who have passed on because of their health. But if we could reverse some of the symptoms that your body is showing you, you'll be able to even fulfill those things that you're passionate about. You'll be able to fulfill the purpose that God has placed in your life. So let us break down some of the classic components of metabolic syndrome. And I am going to read here. So one of the biggest thing is your waist circumference. This measures the fat around your middle area. You also want to keep a good eye on your blood pressure. And blood pressure simply is the force of your blood pushing against the artery walls. And this could actually lead, when the pressure is pushing through the artery walls because there've been some blockage, this could actually lead to damage of your heart as well as your blood vessels. So it's very important to know what your blood pressure is. And and for those who had joined my holistic health series webinar sometime back, I believe that was in April or March, I shared about the importance of knowing your numbers. You cannot afford to go blindly in life without knowing what your blood pressure is, what your blood sugar levels are. And these are things we get done when we go for our annual exam, right? And I always say, make sure that you have a doctor who is a great listener, not one who rushes you through that appointment. You're paying that doctor, right? So you want to make sure that this doctor pays adequate attention to you and answers your questions. And I always say, go prepared, write down your questions and bring them to your doctor, but have them check your numbers. It's very important that you work with your doctor, know what your numbers are. So very importantly, make sure you know your waist circumference, know your blood pressure numbers, know your blood sugar numbers. And a lot of times when you go for your annual physical, a lot of times we go in a fasted state, so they're able to check your hemoglobin A1C, and that checks your blood sugar for the last 3 months. And they always say that you want to make sure that it is not greater than 5.7. So get that checked. And why is this important? When you have a high amount of sugar in your blood, this could be what leads to what is known as insulin resistance. And insulin resistance can lead to type 2 diabetes. And I don't want to dive too much into that. I want to just share the classical metabolic syndromes that you need to be aware about, and you need to pay attention to those numbers. Then the third thing you want to make sure you're paying attention to is your triglyceride levels. And there's the LDH, and the other one is the, let's see, high triglyceride levels can increase your risk for heart disease. And then there's a HDL cholesterol, often called the good one. The LDL is often called the bad cholesterol. When that number is high, it could lead to increased risk for heart disease. The good cholesterol, HDL, helps remove the bad cholesterol from your bloodstream. So we've talked about your waist circumference, your blood sugar levels, your high blood pressure numbers. You get to know what they are. Go to your local store or even Amazon, order a blood pressure machine. And why am I so passionate about this? God is concerned about your health, because in John, 3 John 1-2 says, I wish above all that your health prospers, as so as your soul prospers. And there are countless Bible verses that talk about health and your body in the Bible. Pay attention to those numbers. And then I want us to talk about, and I want to give us, I want to just share a few statistics. Heart disease is the #1 killer in many countries. A stroke or a sudden loss of brain function can lead to blood clots. Type 2 diabetes is a condition, obviously, where we talked about where your body has, where your blood constantly has high sugar levels, which leads to insulin resistance, which leads to type 2 diabetes. So it's very important that you're also paying attention to the food that you're eating. Always make sure that you're eating as close to nature as you can. Avoid a lot of added sugar, processed food, things that come in a box. And I know we're all guilty of all the munchies and the snacks. We like that. But if you could do 80% of the time you're eating healthy, and if you go out or you're meeting with friends, you can eat the 20%, whatever you want. But making sure, even as you eat the 20% of what you like, making sure that it's as healthy as possible. And another key thing that is really, really, really important is fatty liver disease. And this is a prevalent and it's almost an epidemic because it's the fastest growing liver disease in America. I don't know the statistics in other country, but 1 in 3 adults has fatty liver disease, and also 1 in 10 children has fatty liver disease. So it's very, very important that we start paying attention to the signs or the red flags that our body is giving us. But how we do that is pay attention or really get to know what our numbers are, because they're amazing things that God wants to do in your life. But when you don't have your health, when you're not functioning at your healthiest state optimally, you're not able to fulfill the purpose that God has called you for. So, one of the things I would like to ask you, can you identify any components of metabolic syndrome that you may have in your life, or someone that you know in your life? And are you able to have that conversation and start saying, let's pay attention to our health? Do I know my numbers? Do I know my waist circumference? Do I know what my blood pressure, my blood sugar, my high cholesterol, my bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol numbers? Do I know what they are? And my good cholesterol numbers, my HDL, do I know what they are? And it's so important. And for those in healthcare, I'm sure you see it a lot with your patients, right? And there are those, and I remember when I used to work for one of the biggest hospice companies in America, one of the greatest lessons that I learned from my patients, and I took care of and I don't even want to put numbers, but a lot of the common denominator of the patients that I took care of, most of them, their biggest regret was, I wish I took care of my health earlier. I wish I took care, or I wish I paid attention to my health, because I took care of people that if I would mention, but because of HIPAA, I cannot mention very famous people, and also some not famous people here in the DFW area. And no matter how much money they had, they could not even enjoy their money because they didn't have their health. So it's a high time we start paying attention to our health. And it's very important that you take, now that you know, hi Dorothy, good to see you. And it's very important that we start taking the initial steps to reducing the risk of having metabolic syndrome in our lives. And number one of the things that I teach my coaching clients is go to your pantry, look at the things in your pantry, go to your fridge and look at what you have in your fridge. And when you open your fridge, you will know the things that you tend to eat, and you will know some of the changes you need to start making. And I always say, for me, it took a health crisis to change my life. And it has been a health journey, and I'm telling you, there are days where I'm like, I don't want to work out, I don't want to eat healthy. But when I think of where I was, and when the doctors gave me an ultimatum, it's either you get a double mastectomy or you change your life. And that was in 2014. And I've had ups and downs in my health journey, but as I grow older, I have come to really value my health, how I feel. And it's not, and when I talk about health, a lot of times we tend to focus on the scale and the size, but I'm talking about internal health. metabolic syndrome. And I've shared what the cluster of this metabolic syndrome are. And it's very important that as wherever you are, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, it's never too late to reverse those health conditions. Because either way, and a friend of mine said, either way, we're gonna pay for our health. We can choose to wait and then pay for it later, or you can invest and start eating healthy, start walking, find a workout that you can be consistent with, but most importantly, find a workout that you enjoy, that you can be consistent with, and see and start having a different perspective of health and working out. Because I remember there's a time in my life whenever I would think of going to the gym, I would think of it, oh my God, do I really have to show up? But now going to the gym, I look at that as a health investment. And I may only walk maybe for 10 minutes on the treadmill, or 10 minutes on the Stairmaster, or do a high intensity workout. But whatever amount of time I spend in the gym, I feel, for me, that's a health investment for me. So make sure that you change how you see working out, and see it as a form of health investment. We invest in different things in life. We invest in financially, we invest in land, we invest in all these other places. But let's start investing in our health by what we eat, how we treat our body, and most importantly, how we speak to ourselves, and especially as women. You know, how we speak to ourselves matters. How you see yourself matters. But most importantly, God says, I created you fearfully and wonderfully. God designed you fearfully and wonderfully. And as I shared in 3 John 1-2, he says, I wish above all that your health prospers as your soul prospers, right? And you can tell I'm passionate about this. Hi sis, good to see you. So I wanted just to share that, and I pray that you've been encouraged, you've been empowered, but most importantly, you've been educated. We talked about the metabolic cluster syndrome, your waist circumference. Get to know, measure your waist circumference. Get to know your hemoglobin A1C. When you go for your physical, become your health advocate. Don't just go for your physical and you have no idea what your numbers mean, right? Start becoming your own health advocate, and also get to know what your cholesterol numbers are, the good cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. But most importantly, health starts in the kitchen. What you're eating will have a profound impact on your body. After working out today, and most of the before I really had a clear understanding of health, and every once in a while I will go out and eat, but before I had a clear understanding of health, I would work out, and after my workout I would always pass through a drive-through, because that was my treat, right? It's so important that we change the narrative of what health means to us. And also another thing that, but I'll be sharing more on this, but I really just wanted us to really focus on what metabolic syndrome is, the cluster, and the numbers that you need to know. And then next week, I'll also be sharing different things that have a profound impact. But I think today I just wanted us to lay the foundation so you know exactly where to start. But focus more on knowing those numbers. Because sometimes we tend to focus on the external numbers, the scale and the size. And we know a lot of people who are a size 0, but they have the metabolic syndrome, right? So it's important we start really taking care of our body from the inside out. And I no longer focus actually on the scale or whatever size I am, because that used to be my external focus, while internally my body was so diseased, right? So I hope this has been helpful. Let me know, put in the comments, what is one action step you're going to take towards reducing the risk of metabolic syndrome in your life? Put it on the comment. I'd like to know. And for those who are interested, I actually will be launching my 7-week primal way of eating that helps to reverse a lot of these conditions. And I'll be hosting that from August. Let me see what dates. Pardon me, I believe. Because I was revising my coaching program, because I realized a lot of people do not know the importance of how the metabolic syndrome impacts your life. So I'll be starting that coaching program August the 9th, actually, yeah, August the 9th. Sorry, August the 10th. That's on a Saturday, August the 10th. Put a comment. Okay, I like that, Mish. Drinking more water. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's a great initial step towards that will actually have a great impact on your life. So August the 10th, I'll be starting my 7-week. If you're interested, let me know, but I will look out on my Facebook page. I'll be putting my link for that 7-week course. But in the next few lives, I'll be sharing more on this. I hope this has been helpful. It's important to really get a basic foundation of what's really important. And most importantly, health is very personal. And as I said, I am not a doctor. I am not a practitioner. I am a holistic health coach. And my content here is to educate and empower you to make better decisions when it comes to your health. But most importantly, my purpose and my prayer is that God establish you in that which He called you to do. But for you to do that, you need to be in the healthiest state. Okay, awesome. All right. I will be sharing that link on there. But be blessed, guys. Be encouraged. And it's never too late. It's never too late to change your life. And one of the ladies that I love to follow, and she is on Facebook, I believe, or you can check her out on YouTube. Her name is Ernestine Shepherd. She is, I believe she's now in her 80s. She's a beautiful African-American woman who actually started working out in her late 40s. And she transformed her life, and she actually started a movement that now even those who have aged gracefully in their 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s actually join her workout. And she shares a lot of great content, and you can Google or search on Facebook Ernestine Shepherd. Amazing, amazing woman. But nonetheless, I hope this has been helpful. Let me go have some food. And when it comes to food, you want to make sure and you're eating nutrient dense food. Nutrient, and you can Google that. Always make sure you do your own due diligence. I can share a lot of information here, but always go back and do your own diligence. Make sure your due diligence, make sure that you become your own health advocate, right? Pay attention to your body, listen to your body, ask those questions when you go to see your doctor. But most importantly, love your body, nourish your body, hydrate your body, and most importantly, become that person that God called you to be. Unleash your greatness, fulfill your purpose in the healthiest state of your life, all right? God bless. Oh, the sun is getting on my eyes. God bless Caroline Baby Day, your holistic health and wealthpreneur. Have a good evening, and thank you guys for tuning in and joining me in my podcast, all right? Bye-bye.